on? What's good, everybody? It is Tuesday, November 21st, 2023. This is the Early Edge, your sports betting brand of record. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all sports betting, and it is not close. Now, all of the odds on the Early Edge are provided by our incredible partners, the king of all sportsbooks, BetMGM. Now, it is somewhat of a sad day because I have accepted a tryout to be a wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs, so I may or may not be here tomorrow. They stink. I'm done. My fandom is over. Catch a ball. Now, last night, kind of a ho-hum day. We had some check marks, had some X's. Eagles scored 21. That's how razor thin that play was for the counselor. But do not forget, our weeks never stop. We never give a day away. Later today, 4 p.m. Eastern time, we start for this week because guess what? We got 3 NFL games on Thursday. We have one for the first time ever on Black Friday. So me, the stoic one, the maestro, all break down everything today at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Right here on this same channel, I encourage you to turn on your notifications. But just like anything else, whether it's a bad beat, whether your team loses, whatever, you got to pick yourself up. You got to get back on the horse, and you got to bring in the stars of the show. Because here on this Tuesday, you know them, you love them, and it's interesting that it's a Tuesday, Buckets. So Buckets is here. Mikey B is here. The counselor Cash is here. Before we get to our 15 seconds, Buckets, do you know when Thanksgiving is?
I do, Coach.
And when is it, Buckets?
It is this upcoming Thursday, 2 days from now.
It is 2 days from now. We will not be having a soccer capper on that show. We will have one show on Thursday morning. We will have one show on Friday morning. No afternoon, no evening. Put that down. Write it down. I'm glad you know when Thanksgiving is, Buckets. 5 seconds ago, you did not. Now, 15 seconds, and I know I'm probably talking a little bit loud, and the reason I'm doing that is because the counsel right now, his head is probably pounding because he had not 1, not 2, not 3, not even 4 cashes, but for the first time in the history of the Early Edge, we have 5 cashes into the club. Last night, plus 3,000. Social media lit up. Counselor, you have earned our 15 seconds this morning, sir.
It's ironic that Justin Watson was our first touchdown scorer, given I tweeted out a few hours before Early Edge primetime how the wide receiver distribution on the Kansas City Chiefs is so thin, it's so wide. But as soon as I saw Justin Watson at 30-1, knowing that his snap share continues to rise, knowing that he's probably the 2B to Travis Kelce and, of course, Rashee Rice, it made so much sense to take him. He's been a reliable target for Pat Mahomes over the last few years. So I am very happy we cashed him. And by the way, 8 out of the last 9 shows, maybe 9 out of the last 10, actually, I've taken a guy plus 1,800 or longer. Do you know why I did that, Coach? Because I want to let people back into the mix. But I found something out last night. There's no off switch on this thing. So I apologize to the Early Edge crew, but specifically no apology to everybody that followed that pick. There were perhaps hundreds of you because I got so many messages, so many comments, so many likes, so many retweets. Really appreciate everybody. I'm glad we got this community win. When we get the tough losses, when we get the ones that we think we should have had, don't forget about these plays because these are magical.
You know what's funny? Well done for the 15 seconds, by the way. It's so funny because whenever you do something really well, I have tons of people. Coach, Sia did this better. Do you realize that we're all on the same team? Like when he does well, I do well. When Buckets does well, I do well. When Mikey B does well, I do well. That's the funny part about the whole thing. Last night, I had hundreds of tweets. Oh, Coach, you didn't get it right. But I still played his. I still cashed a plus 3,000 because we do this thing together. Still drives me insane that he has 5, but we still do it together. Now, Mikey B, haven't heard from you this morning. How are you doing, sir? Good?
I'm doing well, Coach. Thanks. I'm doing okay.
Wow, it seems like some trepidation there. You sure you're okay? Below
well,
bucket.
I'm still sick.
You still sick?
I'm still sick. Yes. Going to the doctors later today, but I'm okay. I'm here. Let's do some NBA stuff later. I'm ready.
You're
Coach.
a gamer,
I'm
baby.
ready.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay. Well, hang tight.
I'm just sitting. I can sit, Coach.
You can play sick. Everybody can play sick. You can get up on a Tuesday morning on a holiday week. My man, hang tight. I got something for you coming right up. But tonight, what is today's date, Counselor? It's November 21st. Mm-hmm. We said 49 days ago that there would be 50 straight days of football until November 22nd. So today, you better soak it all in because it's all about to come to an end, ladies and gentlemen. And tonight, it's Bowling Green. It's Western Michigan. Snake, great job on the graphics. BetMGM, we love you too. Now, we have been cashing some tickets the last couple of weeks, but it's not easy, Sia. It's not easy. But Bowling Green's been playing a little bit better. They are -1.5. So today, are we fading or are we following the small favorite Bowling Green to the pay window?
Yeah, I think we're going to follow Bowling Green to the pay window. I mean, first of all, Western Michigan has lost 4 of 6. They had a decent win against Central Michigan. Coach, you might remember that game. That was a game we actually had Central Michigan. Central Michigan absolutely exploded on Western Michigan in the third quarter and scored 21 straight points and then gave the game up in the fourth quarter. But we don't have a lot of good wins on Western Michigan's resume. They're not bowl eligible. They can't be bowl eligible if they win this game. On the other hand, Bowling Green, they're already bowl eligible, but they've won 4 out of 5. And the one game they lost last week, it was against Toledo. Toledo's a very good team, 10-1. They lost that game on a 4th and 2 at the very end of the game. So I think Bowling Green is just flat out the better team. I'll take that one.
Yeah, Toledo has already cashed their spot into the MAC championship game, so other things are still moving around. So that's game number 1 tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time. I also agree with you. Tonight, the play is Bowling Green. Western Michigan couldn't even get out of the starting blocks last week. Now, game number 2 tonight, Eastern Michigan and Buffalo. Now, Eastern Michigan has shown that they can score. Buffalo has shown they have heart at times. They're favored by 5.5. That, according to BetMGM, the total is a robust 35.5 in a college football game. What are we doing? Counselor, fading, following Buffalo tonight.
Well, this one's interesting because anytime you have a total this low at 35.5 and you have a spread that's, above 4, you always have to at least take a peek at the underdog, Eastern Michigan. And I think Eastern Michigan is taking some money here. I think this line might have opened at 6.5. It's down to 5.5. I think Eastern Michigan's probably the better team. This one might be a stay away for me, but I would lean towards Eastern Michigan's side. I don't think Buffalo's anything really to write home about. Now, granted, part of the reason this is a low total, both of these offenses are pretty pedestrian, but also the weather is going to be pretty bad. You're probably going to see some conservative play. I'll go ahead and take the points in this one.
Did you just say you're going to stay away from betting on a Tuesday night MACtion game tonight? Did I hear that come out of your mouth?
Well, I said I was staying away from betting a MACtion game, not the MACtion games.
Very true. My bad. You're allowed to laugh at that, Buckets. It's okay. Like right now you're walking on eggshells for some reason, or you've gone behind my back and done something with Snake that I don't know about. Then I'm walking on the eggshells. Mikey B's just over there going, just give me some NyQuil. Put me out of my bed. All right. There are college basketball games starting in less than an hour. But on CBS, college basketball is everything to us, especially this week.
It's never too soon for college hoops. It's the Emerald Coast Classic on CBS Sports Network.
How good is Friday going to be? We have an extended show on Friday. I just broke my light. Extended show on Friday to get all of those picks in early in the morning, and everybody can go hang out. Maybe do a little PFL World Championship Friday night. Tune in, boys. I'll be there. So we've got 5 NBA games. Mikey B, I've made you sit there long enough. You're like a rabid dog ready to come out today. The in-season tournament. We're all here for it. So the 76ers, one of 3 Eastern Conference teams to have at least 10 wins in the early season. They're playing well. Oh, who could have known that? As soon as James Harden walks out the door. So they're favored by 7.5 tonight over the Cavs, basically a 500 team. So are we fading or following the Sixers to continue their hot start and cover this spread today, Mikey B?
Yeah, I'm following the 76ers to cover. Donovan Mitchell is going to miss his 3rd straight game for the Cavaliers. Isaac Okoro is also out. He's a key defender. Karis LeVert's questionable with a knee injury. So the Cavaliers are going to be pretty shorthanded. The 76ers are 8-2 against the spread as favorites this season. Cavaliers just 3-4 against the spread on the road. No Mitchell. I'm all over the 76ers here.
All right. I like the Sixers too. That for some reason, and basketball's different, Counselor, when I see that hook, it's not as important as it is in football, but for some reason it's like blinking at me today. Does it bother you?
I mean, it bothers me a little bit. I mean, anytime you get towards the end of the game and it's not a blowout, but it's in that like 10 range, you never know what's going to happen at the end of the game. That is a frustrating part of not just NBA basketball, but college basketball as well. With that said, I like Mikey B's analysis there. The injuries are certainly going to hurt, no pun intended. And listen, we're still in the James Harden honeymoon period. And in James Harden's case, the honeymoon period is actually when you exit, not when you arrive. So give me the Sixers.
Yeah, you bring up college basketball. What a painful loss that Syracuse was yesterday. They were down 5 with what, minute 10 to go, minute 15, and gave up 11 straight points in the final minute. Did nothing. That's college basketball and NBA basketball for you. Be very, very careful, especially in the early season. All right. We do have some good news for you. I want you all to write thank you in the chat for me. As you're doing that, I need you to hit the like button because you're getting so lazy. But you ask me all the time, Coach, where can we make these bets? Well, I'll tell you that new BetMGM customers can sign up today, get $200 in bonus bets. Just place your first wager of at least $10, and you will receive $200 instantly in bonus bets, regardless of your wager's outcome, with bonus code EDGE200. That is bonus code EDGE200. Now, the good news is this. I can't give it all away or I will get in trouble. But so many of you in the chat, so many of you on Twitter say, Coach, what about those of us who have signed up? What about those of us who already play at BetMGM? Well, guess who we had a little meeting with yesterday? We are thinking about you, and we are actively trying to come up with all the different things we're going to do for you that have already signed up with BetMGM. They're amazing to work with. They're amazing partners. They're an amazing sports book, and we're going to make it better just for you. All right, Buckets. It's time for our board, big boy. And I feel like you're like a first or second grader over there, just being perfect, sitting there, not raising your hand, not saying anything to Miss Johnson, and you're ready to go. Today, there are qualifiers across the board. I need a little education and entertainment. Let me check my notes. I need not 1, not 2.
Ooh.
Can I have 3 plays today?
Coach, I'll see what I can do. And I'm a little bit antsy right now because 11 minutes is the longest I've ever gone without talking on the early edge. So I've got a lot of kind of energy built up here. But let's see what we can do. We do still have Euros this afternoon, but we also have a little competition starting in the next 40 minutes called the Africa World Cup qualifiers. I'm looking at the match between Libya and Cameroon, and this match starts at 11 Eastern. So you need to get these bets in right away. Do not wait. Do not stall. Get these in at MGM now. I'm looking at this matchup, and I'm only looking at one thing, Cameroon. Cameroon is one of the best attacking teams in all of Africa. They're currently ranked 42nd on FIFA's national rankings, while Libya is ranked 120. So there's a massive gap of skill between these two teams. If you watch EPL, if you watch Brentford, know that Cameroon has Mbeumo as their number 9 in that striker position, and they have a bunch of other incredible attacking talent as well. I'm taking Cameroon over 1.5 team total at -115. This match could very well end 2-0, 3-0. It could be low scoring, but Cameroon should get at least 2 here against any opponent right now. Then we are going to the Euro qualifiers for one pick this afternoon in the matchup between Romania and Switzerland. And this match is almost a carbon copy of the ticket that we cashed yesterday between Slovenia and Kazakhstan. I'm once again keeping it simple, and I'm taking the BTTS at -120 because both of these teams are the best scoring teams in Group I. Both of these teams, if they win, top the group. That means that both sides have to go for goals here, and this is a match that could see 4 or 5 goals potentially this afternoon. And then finally, we're going to a match late this afternoon. This is at 7:30 p.m. tonight, and this is in the World Cup qualifications for the CONMEBOL, which is South America. And I'm looking at this big match between Brazil and Argentina. Now, normally when these two teams play, it is one of the biggest matchups of the month, of the year. It is a clash between two kings in their respective sports. But right now, both teams are playing kind of pretty bad, but especially Brazil right now. Brazil is just littered with injuries. They're out of form both at home and on the road, and they've now gone 3 matches without a win, which is unheard of for this Brazilian side. They're hosting Argentina, who are coming off the back of a 2-0 loss to Uruguay, so both teams will be desperate to bounce back. But the fact that I can get Argentina draw no bet at +105, plus odds for that safety net that I love so much, there's just no world where I see Brazil winning this outright. I think Argentina win this 2-0, 2-1, but give yourself that safety net and get ready for the party.
Yeah, for those of you who are new to soccer betting, what Buckets means by that is if it's a tie, you get your money back. The regular money line, if it's a tie, you do not get your money back. So you got to come here. You got to understand. You got to understand the quarters and the three quarters. It can be complicated, but when he says keep it simple, let's just keep it simple. By the way, did you see that young kid from the United States who got kicked out of the game last night?
Threw a little temper tantrum and cost his team the game. That was unheard of by Dest. That was weird.
Never seen that before in my life. It was crazy. Something else is going on there, but I got it. We watch everything 24/7. We watch everything, me and Buck. It's hashtag Next Level Soccer Capper. Now, by the way, Gary in the chat says, Coach, you've been telling us that for 6 months. We've only been with BetMGM since September. What are you talking about? 6 months ago. Come on, Gary. Must have had a bad night like me. All right. Buckets, thank you very much. 3 banger picks all throughout the day. One starts in less than 45 minutes. The other one tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Now, Mikey B. I always tell people, do not let the nice guy face fool you. The man's an absolute savage. And when you're talking about the NBA and 5 games tonight, I don't know where the value is, but I know you do. What do we got?
All right, I'm going to do 2 player props from the same game. It's the Hawks-Pacers game. First, we're going to do DeJounte Murray over 20.5 points at -105. He's averaging 21.8 points per game for the season. He's shooting 48.5% from the field, so he's been very efficient. What I like about him is he plays a ton. He averaged 36 minutes a game last season, 35 a game this season. Both the Pacers and the Hawks rank inside the top 3 in the league in pace of play, and the Pacers have the 5th worst defensive rating, so we're going to take Murray to go over 20.5 points. We're also going to take his teammate Jalen Johnson to go over 14.5 points at -120. Johnson scored at least 15 points in 5 of his last 7 games. He came off the bench to begin the season, was quickly moved into the starting 5. That's helped him average 31 minutes a game. Talked about how poorly the Pacers have played on defense. So we're also going to go Jalen Johnson over 14.5 points.
Did you see the total in this game, Mikey?
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. It's like
the highest
250
I've ever
something.
seen. 252.
Yeah.
252.
It's crazy.
They score 64 points a quarter to cover the over.
Wild.
And they probably will. And they probably will. When you play 2 player props from the same game, you're confident in points. Mikey B, stellar by you, big boy. Stellar by you.
Thanks,
now,
Coach.
As you know, my guys are not cheap. You got to pay them. They're very, very expensive. Here's another word from one of our incredible partners.
The Scudetto, where the soul of Italy meets the pinnacle of calcio. Catch Serie A on CBS Sports Network and streaming live on Paramount+.
I cannot wait for the leagues to get back this weekend. I've missed them so very much. Now, you guys know that Early Edge and SportsLine, we are one and the same. Simpatico. If you're not a SportsLine member, what are you doing? I got 2 big plays from SportsLine today. The first one from my main man, Kenny White. We're going to go UNCW, App State. Let's go under 140.5. Now, be very careful. These lines move throughout the day. Yesterday, we played one that went off 8 and 9 points. These move. These tournament games move, so be very careful. But Kenny White is the Wizard of Odds for a reason. Then our other play from our man Berg Betts. He is everything college basketball for us. Stephen F. Austin, pick up -110. You want the explanation? Go to SportsLine and read it for yourself. Also, our Sims been a little bit off to start the year, but today, Kansas, Marquette, a top 5 matchup out there in Maui. We have Kansas winning by 3, according to our simulations. But make it easy on yourself. Just sign up to be a SportsLine member right here, right now. And if you're a little skeptical, I get it. But I'm going to do you a solid. I'm going to give you 60% off the first 3 months, the quarterly plan. Just use that promo code, Coach. There's the QR code. Go to sportsline.com/join. Then everything we talk about here on the show, on social media, everywhere we are, you will understand it because you will be a part of it. It's the best $10 a month you will ever spend. I promise you that. After I give you more money off to start. You're welcome. Now, after all that college basketball, and games go to 1:30 a.m. Eastern tonight, sometimes I like to bring it back to simple. Just like Bucket said, just look me right in the eye, give me a college football game on a Tuesday night, and just let me cash the ticket. Counselor, can we do that?
These Tuesday and Wednesday night college football games have really treated us well over the last, 4 or 5 weeks. Maybe one slip up in the MAC. I might have lost 2 in a row at some point a couple of weeks ago, but we definitely have a winning record here. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to be fading Western Michigan. I mentioned it earlier in the show. Give me Bowling Green money line. Now, Coach, you just repped SportsLine. I will say this. I put this play in last night, right after the Monday Night Football game. It was Bowling Green money line minus 118. It was minus 125 in some places. This has skyrocketed a bit. It's gone up 20 cents pretty much in every single market. So you're probably looking at minus 140 or so. Listen, I still think I like it relative to laying the 2.5 points. I mean, again, this is kind of a bet on SportsLine thing. Like if you got this last night, you got a much better number. But I already explained why I like this game. Western Michigan, they've lost 4 of 6. They completely collapsed against NIU, scoring a grand total of 0 points. Contrasted with Bowling Green, won 4 out of 5, narrowly lost to 10-1 Toledo again on a 4th and 2 play late in the game. And oh, by the way, this same Bowling Green team in September, late September, beat Georgia Tech. So they can rise up against great teams. Western Michigan is not a great team. They're a decent offense, but not a great offense. And it's the Bowling Green defense that I really think is going to show up in this one. Give me Bowling Green money line.
We preach that the juice is so important, especially if you play a lot of games or you follow all of our picks. Very, very important. However, in a football game, would you not agree, Counselor, that if you're really confident in your pick, that minus 118 or minus 130 in this instance really shouldn't matter that much?
Yeah, I agree. I would take them, especially in these MACtion games. They can be very squirrely with how these teams play. There's usually a lot of errors, like a bad fumble, maybe a 2-point conversion. So taking the money line in a game like this that has a relatively low total versus, let's say, a USC Oregon game that has a 65-point total, like maybe I lay the points in that one. But in these MACtion games, I generally like to stick to the money line if I can.
By the way, speaking of USC, my goodness, they are getting raked over the coals out here on the West Coast, all over the local news. All of a sudden, the bloom is off the rose. That's what they say for Lincoln Riley. All of a sudden, $10 million a year may not seem all that worth it. All right, grab your paper, grab your pencil. Here's the recap, courtesy of our man, the Snake, on the ones and the twos. Sia Nejad, the Counselor. He's on Bowling Green money line minus 118. MACtion ends tonight. Then buckets, 3 big plays. First one starts in 37 minutes. Cameroon, team total over 1.5, minus 115. You heard all the reasons for it. Romania, Switzerland, 2:45 p.m. Eastern this afternoon. Both teams to score. Keep it simple, minus 120. Then tonight, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, Argentina, draw, no bet. Very important. Have that little security blanket that if there's a tie, or as we like to call it, a draw, you get your money back. Then Mikey B, 2 plays, same game. Dejounte Murray over 20.5 points. Love this kid, minus 105. And then Jalen Johnson over 14.5 points, minus 120. Then from SportsLine itself, let's go 2 plays. UNCW App State under 140.5. I see in the chat, they said some places it's already down to 137. You know how I am. Be very careful. Do your own work too. Stephen F. Austin, pick him, minus 110. A quick reminder. Today, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Well, every other brand is taking the week off, or I'll see you on Friday. Not us. We'll be here today at 4 p.m. Eastern time, breaking down every single game. 3 on Thanksgiving, 1 on Black Friday, and then an entire slate on Sunday and Monday this week. I want you all, if you're off work today, enjoy it. Spend time with your family. Pay it forward. Be kind to one another. Watch all the college basketball. Just sit on your tush. But don't push it. Last Eagles joke. I promise you that. Uh-oh. Something went out.